powerful parts of you. We spend our lives editing, cropping pain, filtering flaws, posing for perfection. But what if the raw, blurry, awkward photos are the ones that tell the real story? Perfection isn't always the goal, expression is. And here's something that I learned the hard way: the most inspiring features of you aren't the polished ones, they're the raw, unfiltered, messy bits. And I didn't learn this from a book or a speech, I learned it from my friend camera. Often, I wish I could freeze a moment. Not the perfect ones, but the quiet ones. The ones where nobody's really posing. You know that kind of moment that passes by before you realize that it even mattered? I think those are the frames worth remembering. Or maybe capturing. So let me be audacious for a second. I'm taking a picture of this moment right now, and I'm not going to ask you to pose or wave. Just be, and that's enough. We'll come back to this in a second. In this generation, we don't just chase perfection, we're expected to live in it. Especially as students, there's a constant pressure to perform, to have it all figured out, to glow up, have a fixed productivity routine, straight A's, flawless skin, a 10-year working future plan, all before we hit 16. Now, we might look like we've got it all figured out, but behind the glow ups and grades, there's those late night panics, those silent breakdowns, and that pushing through. Let me take you back to my board exam season. I slept late, woke up really early, I was exhausted, overwhelmed, and doing everything I could to catch up. So, somewhere in that chaos, I did take a few photos. Not Pinterest worthy photos, just me surrounded by notes, barely holding it together. And now, I look back at these photos and weirdly, they feel perfect because they made me realize how hard I tried. But what they didn't show me was the fear of maybe not able to go to the criteria for the stream, or maybe switching schools, or wondering if I was even enough. But I made it. Exhausted? Yes. Messy? Yes. Growth and resilience? Definitely. Because that messy version of me, tired, emotional, over it, taught me more about strength than any other aesthetic version ever could. Coming back to this photo, you see this? This is the real us. And to be real, I like this version more and the moment we share right now. Life does not always follow rules, but sometimes it whispers its own kind of formula. Not the one that solves for X, but the kind that reveals who we are, especially when things go off script. So let me show you something what I call the frame theory. Lens plus clicks equal to frame. Allow me to break it down. The lens, it is how we see things, including ourselves. Some days the lens is cracked up with insecurity, or other days it's blurred or fogged up with comparison. But every now and then we clean it. We look at ourselves with a little softness, a little humor, and a little truth. Because when you shift the lens from judgment to curiosity, or from perfect to real, everything changes. You know how a photo can look completely different just by tilting the camera? Mhm. Sometimes life just needs a new angle, and that can widen your perspective. The clicks, they're the moments, not the staged cheese kind of moments. I'm talking about the real ones, the real raw clicks. Like the time you cried mid study and kept going anyway, or laughed so hard with your friends you forgot how stressed you were. And when you keep your lens and clicks together, you get the frame. That's the story. That's your story. Imperfect, unfiltered, and full of truth. Not every frame will be pretty, but every frame is powerful because it's yours and you chose to keep it. So, what does this mean? Stop waiting for your perfect moment. Stop chasing perfection and missing the small, real moments in life that mean the most, that shows our strength, our growth, and our true selves. The world may frame us through money, mistakes, marks, but I've learned to develop my story from the negatives. Because even the blurriest photos hold truth, and the clearest lessons come out from the messiest frames. The photos you see on screen are the moments I share with my family and friends. That made me realize it's okay to be a little unfiltered and it's okay to not always be okay. So before I leave you, I want you to try something. I want everyone to open their phone gallery, not to look for the perfect pictures, but the real ones. The ones where your hair's a mess, your eyes are tired, you're laughing, crying, or just existing. Because those are the photos that put a smile on your face. Not because they're flawless, but because they're honest. They capture the you who endured, stumbled, cried, laughed, and kept going anyway. That is not imperfection, it's authenticity. And maybe, just maybe, that version of you is the one that deserves to be celebrated the most. Thank you.